Hello, everybody. My name is Derek, and you are watching Weird Ventures. We are playing through Curse of Strahd. Our party is in Little Barovia right now, which is inside of Big Barovia, the very first town that they have come across. It's a lovely little burg. Everything there is great and nice. Uh, if you want to see just how lovely and nice it is, you can catch up with our adventures on our YouTube channel, which is Weird Ventures, on YouTube. And give us, like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. And follow us on Twitch if you want to catch up with our future adventures. It's a great thing that I would definitely suggest you do. But for right now, we've got a bit of a smaller group with us today. We might be getting our friend Cosmic to join us later on. But for now, the party that we have is as follows. We'll start off with Biner, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name's Chris. I'm playing Binur the Wise, the Luxodon Star Druid.
Yes, indeed. And then next up will be Ina.
Hi, my name is RJ. I am playing Ina, the Halfling Enchantment Wizard.
Yes, indeed. Next up, we'll go over to Penny.
Hi, this is Jennifer playing Penny Peanut Posy Poppy Your Garden, your Phantom Rogue Forest Gnome.
Mm-hmm. And then last but not least, we've got Porum.
Hello, my name is Migs. I'll be playing Porum, our resident fairy fighter cleric.
Yeah. And without further ado, would anybody like to do the recap of what happened last week to get y'all an inspiration? Offer going once? Twice? All right. I'll go ahead and take it over then. So, last week in y'all's adventures, you were recovering a little bit from your first major encounter with Count Strahd von Zarovich himself. It was a little bit messy. Ina got buried alive, but luckily didn't stay buried alive. Y'all managed to dig him up before any lasting harm was done, but still didn't feel good. There were some negative emotions in the air, nonetheless. Things to get off people's chests and, stuff for y'all to work through. You decided to head back to the tavern to try and get some rest and get clean after a very long day. But Ophelia and Biner went first because there was somebody who was sick and very much in need of help. And the two of them, working together, were able to create a cure for Goric, who seemed to have been suffering from a severe lack of sleep. No matter how much he tried to rest, nothing would help him. And he was the husband of the tavern owners in the town, the Blood on the Vine Tavern. They're able to make a tea that would help him have a peaceful, dreamless sleep because he was having nightmares. And it seems to be going successfully so far. So, Biner had asked the owner to regale him with a particular tale, if they were able to help out. And because they have, she is now indebted to them. On the following morning, whenever the party is ready, we'll be more than happy to tell that story to y'all. But after that, y'all had some separate scenes that you wanted to do. Things to get ready. Ina resummoned Peaches, their bird, who I should actually probably drop onto the map here. Oop, I'll actually move us to the right map. Just realized we're on the wrong one. Or we're still looking at our little scene holder. But yes, Ina resummoned Peaches. We learned a bit more about Irina, who has certainly had some strange dreams and has been showing up in strange visions. Um, the party discovered that you have a letter that is an invitation to Ravenloft, and gonna want to wait till you've got the whole group together to sort of discuss your thoughts on if you should accept it or not. You do have time. There's only one road leading out of town, after all, so, you know, you'll have a little while until you get to the crossroads where you have to make your decision, essentially. But yeah, other than that, I'll have been relaxing, waiting for Vasily to make his appearance, because he has silver weapons for all of you, and a book on vampires and the like that could be quite useful to y'all. So, that was pretty much where we left off, I think. If I forgot anything major, please let me know. But pretty sure that's the gist of it. And so with us starting off here, we are going to do a little bit of retcon, a little bit of moving things around just to make things smoother, which is Ophelia and Balthazar are going to go and take a nap in their rooms for the time being. So we're going to do that real quick. And Biner, were you offering to have Balthazar sleep on the floor in your room so Irina and Ismark could have their own?
I thought Balthazar was going to sleep with Porum and Ina on the floor.
Okay, perfect. That is what I needed to know.
Yep.
All right. In that case, I'm going to move Balthazar into there. And yeah, as Balthazar takes their leave, we'll say this is just before Vasily starts rounding the corner to make things a little smoother for us. As Balthazar enters the room with Porum, this will be right around Porum when you begin waking up after fainting a little bit. As Balthazar is getting ready for sleep, they'll say, you know, "You doing okay, Porum?"
Porum's going to just slowly get up out of the bed and pinch the bridge between his nose and his eyes, and just mutter out, I've been better, but I think I'll manage.
You've been sleeping for a long time. I'm about to sleep myself, but you should probably go upstairs and get some food or something at least, if you think you can manage it.
No, yeah, I can manage that. I'm just going to splash some water in my face first, try to calm down,
All right.
try to get my bearings.
Excellent. In that case, Balthazar is going to start doing that, and Porum, you are going to be leaving your room right around the time, I believe, Biner, you were about to go upstairs too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, right around the same time that you step out, you see Biner stepping out.
Porum's just going to wave.
Feeling better?
It's better as one can be after what just happened. How are you doing?
Doing better now that I've got a chance to do some meditation.
And Ina and Penny, are they okay as well?
Yeah, they're upstairs. Just chilling with the owners and stuff. So I was just gonna head back up and see what they're up to.
Well, I'm glad they're doing okay. I'm glad Ina's doing better. Better. Don't know why I said better. You know what? It's been a long day. I'm just going to run to the little fairies room for a second, and I'll see you guys up there.
All right, I'll see you up there.
All right. And Biner, I'll go ahead and just move you to the top, and you can move your token as you like. So yeah, you make your way up where Ina and Penny are at. And
Did I miss anything?
yeah.
We got a letter.
Oh. What'd the letter say?
We're invited to dinner at the castle as an olive branch. And I know just gonna hand over the letter.
Let me know if you'd like me to link it or read it again for you.
No, I'll just glance through it. That's interesting. What did everyone else think before they headed downstairs?
We appear to be in agreement that it's not something we should ignore. But it's up to the whole of the group to if we go or not.
It doesn't say when we have to go, though, right? So
No, it does not.
we can go tomorrow, or we can go 5 years from now if we're still here.
I hope
I
not.
would
In
not.
5 years.
Neither do I,
Yeah.
Penny, but
I don't think I could take this much rain for 5 years.
oh yes, I hope we find a way out of here well before then. But I think you got my point of the time frame. Porum's awake, but he had to go to the little fairy room, so he'll be up here shortly, hopefully.
Speaking of that, Porum, are you getting up to anything in particular, or are you just going to wash off your face?
Yeah, Porum's just going to wash up a little bit, try to.
Alright. Roll me a perception as you go into the little washroom.
Yeah. Perception. Ooh.
You hear the sound of somebody's stomach growling quite loud from the next stall.
Hello?
Oh, hey,
You alright in there?
just a little hungry.
When's the last time you ate?
Yesterday?
Okay, not as bad as I thought. Porum's just going to look in all his pockets and all his whatever he has on him and see if he has any food. And he's gonna pull out some rations.
Give this man gold to leave the restroom.
He'll leave him some food and some gold.
Excellent. You setting that like down in front of his stall?
Yeah, I'm just gonna like knock and just slide. I'm gonna put the food on like something like
Yeah.
cloth so it's on like dirty floor.
Thank you so much. Hey, could you be already helping me out, but could you let me know when like the bartender goes to sleep and the coast is clear so I can get out of here?
Why can't you just get out now?
Because I'm like, okay, listen, I've been in here for like 3 days now because there's zombies outside and this place seems to be the only place that's safe. And I have money to pay for it honestly now, but listen, they're gonna know that I've been in there forever. They're gonna be like, why are you in the bathroom for 3 days? I can't deal with that. I just gotta sneak out and come back in and then pay for my stuff normally.
That seems like a legitimate plan. Sure. Yeah, I'll let you know if they go to sleep.
Thank you. What's your name?
Porum, and yours?
You're a Saint Porum. I'm Harry.
Nice to meet you, Harry.
Thanks. It's nice to meet you too.
Well, I'm gonna go now because this is kind of getting awkward.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's what I fear the most. I don't want it to get awkward. Please do.
Anyway, I hope you enjoy the food, Harry.
Thanks.
Porum is just going to finish up and walk out the bathroom.
Excellent. In that case, then speak of the devil. Just as Biner mentions Porum's name, that is when you begin walking upstairs, and you're welcome to move yourself if you like.
Yeah, Porum's just going to make his way over to the group. Making my way. Good morning.
No,
Good
we're
night.
still on the same day.
Yep.
Good night. Okay, hi guys. Same day.
You had like a 2-hour nap, buddy.
Look, it's been a long day, and my sense of time has just gone out the window.
Well, since the sun doesn't rise, that's understandable of not figuring out his day or night here.
I mean,
But-
the locals said they tell time by the rain, right? Am I
Yep.
remembering that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets extra stormy and rainy, and that's sort of what they consider nighttime, essentially.
I paid attention. I
Yeah.
did it.
Because essentially, while the moon is out, that's the brightest it gets here. So that's a day for them.
Bad.
Yeah.
Penny's gonna pat the chair next to her. Come on, Porum, come sit down at the table with us.
Porum just gives a slight smile and is gonna walk on over and look over to Aina and just be like, "How are you feeling?"
Everyone keeps asking me that. Like, I'm gonna freak out.
Well, I mean, like, this is like your second time dying?
I didn't die this time, though.
Well, second
Knocked
time you're
unconscious, buried alive. I will deal with it on my own terms later.
okay. Well, just want to make sure you're okay because you know that we're here for you and all and yada yada. We care about you.
Ina's just gonna look at, like, dead ass look at Porum, just like, the fuck you talking about?
They had a bath and got all cleaned up. They're doing just fine.
Okay. So what were you guys talking about?
A
What did I
letter.
miss? A letter?
A letter.
We just
Yeah.
got a letter.
We
I
just
wonder who
got
it's
a
from.
letter.
Yes, from our ever so gracious lord.
It's gonna noticeably tense at that.
We were invited to dinner.
And I take it we're on the menu?
No,
I
it doesn't
hope
say
not.
anything like that. It's more of an extension of putting the past behind us and starting a new friendship. Whatever that means.
He just
He's
tried to
looking for
kill
some
you
place to
2
live.
hours ago.
Yes, that was 2 hours ago, though. It's not now.
Still pretty fresh.
Oh yeah, I guess because you probably didn't get a chance to listen to it. If you'd like to, Migs, I could reread the letter while it's handed over to you if
Yes.
you like.
Yes.
Give me that Peruvian accent, Derek.
The
Oh
best
yes.
out Chocula.
All right. Are you So yeah, the letter is handed over to you, and I will once again reveal it. Ooh. Version 10 is neat. Okay.
Ooh.
to my dear friends slash liars of the P team, Balthazar, Lady Ophelia, Bina, Penny, Aina, and Poro. I graciously welcome you to the lands of Barovia, and hope you do truly enjoy your stay here. I am sure we will find ourselves as the closest of friends, or the fiercest of rivals in the coming weeks, and it excites me to no end to discover which that might be. I bid you dine at my castle, so we can meet in more civilized surroundings, and amongst much happier company than a funeral. Know that this shall be a clean slate. No grudges will be held against you, no matter how our first meeting went. I only ask that you keep to your promises. Your passage here will be a safe one, and I dearly await your arrival. Safe travels. Your host, Count Strahd von Zarovich.
It's like I can hear his voice still.
A little bit.
So, what's the plan? Are we taking him up on his offer? Are we? I mm, I don't know about this, guys. If I'm being honest.
From what Ophelia said before they went to lay down, is one does not turn down a lord's request like this. Unless we want our lives to be, worse than being buried alive. There's no date on it, though, for when we have to go. Just that we should.
There's also nothing that mentions any transportation, so I assume it's all by foot.
I'm sure this world-class town has some horses somewhere.
I don't think I would feel comfortable because they definitely have dead horses. I am trying to remove something.
Did you see the horses that we ran into? They didn't really seem
Uh-huh.
the most friendly.
Can't believe you beat those dead horses.
Oh my God.
The lightning, nonetheless.
Mm.
What's our plans for the morning?
Dude, we could stick around town, but I don't feel the need to, if that makes sense. I don't know what we could do more here, if anything.
If we wanted to stick around, we probably could, I don't know, reach out to oh God, what's his name? What's his name? Tell me your
Description.
name. Varel. There we go. There somewhere.
Barrel.
But the Inquisitor dude. Isn't that his name?
Yes.
Oh, the guy you wanted to go watch that had a rally.
Yeah.
Uh,
But I don't think he's gonna be much help to us. So there's probably no point. We could go to God, I'm horrible with names today. I can't imagine.
it's okay, you just woke up. Sound
like
it
a-
out.
Opening
It's,
up a phone book.
Open up a phone book, guys. It's the place that Varel went to with the church. It almost sounds like Balak's name.
Balaki?
There you go, Balaki. Thank you, voice inside my head.
You're actually going. It's not going to be a voice inside your head. It's going to be someone peering in through the window.
Slow turn around. Just-
I'll be right in.
okay.
Sully will say as he makes his way inside.
Who tells that?
I've got good ears, what can I say? And he's going to pull up a chair at y'all's table. Let's say. So, I've got some silvered weapons for most of you. Show my thanks. I hope things at the church were uneventful.
Mm.
I'm getting a vibe here. It says that maybe they were eventful. Is that damn vampire taken care of finally? I mean, that's
Porum is
bad
just
news,
gonna
but
slide
also
the letter.
No.
you
I were
will-
so kindly buried alive and then, invited to dinner in the same day.
Yeah, he reads the letter after hearing that. And glances around at the four of you. It's like, fucking hell. Is Irina and Ismark okay?
They're downstairs sleeping.
And
Ismark took a beating, but Irina's okay.
he's gonna make it through though, yeah?
Yeah.
Thank God.
He wasn't bitten or anything, if that's what you're worried about.
I mean, yeah, definitely do worry about that, but you can't turn if you don't die at the very least, so he'll be
So
safe.
is there somewhere safe we could take them?
Well, he kind of scratches his chin a little bit. There's two potential places, though ultimately nowhere in Barovia is, really safe, ultimately. But your best bet, buy you some time, would probably be to go to either Vallaki. The Church of St. Androl's there is nothing against Donovich. He tries his best, even if I fucking hate that place. The Church of St. Androl actually is a proper church. There's magic there to keep the undead, fiends, and things like that out. So, that place could be safe. And then I've also heard things about the Abbey and Kresk. Supposedly there's a giant eagle that protects their town and has been keeping it safe for a while. So, either of those two places could be good for you.
That was wearing crest?
Yeah, that was in Kresk. No, I haven't been to Kresk myself.
So where exactly are you from?
I'm from Vallaki. I made my way down here once I started hearing that Irina and them were having trouble. But my home's in Vallaki. I wish I could say it is an entirely pleasant place, but it's got its own problems. Certainly not as bad as here, but the burgomaster there, suppose, has the he kind of thinks on it for a second. The opposite problem, I suppose, of Irina and Ismark's father. Doesn't care about the well-being of his people very much. Though I guess caring for it is what caused Strahd's zombies to come down anyway, so maybe it's not too different. Anyway, though, I have a glaive for you, and he's going to hand Porum a silvered glaive, and he's just going to start handing out a bunch of bolts to everybody, and I'll make sure that you all get that on your character sheet post haste. Start laying all that down. Yes. Get y'all some silvered stuffs. But yeah. I'd like to go back to Valaki soon, because we've been having our fair share of werewolf problems outside. They've been doing skirmishes with the guard, and I'd like to help them, but, well, Irene needs to get out of here, and she can't do it alone. And Ismark's her only living family, so technically, I am a noble. I might be able to find somebody else to at least serve as temporary burgomaster here, so the town has some kind of leadership. So Ismark would be free to go if he wants to. It sounded like he did. I guess I'm making some assumptions, but
Sure, he'll go wherever his sister goes.
yeah, I know I would.
What if we take them up to Valaki, where you want to go back, you said, so we at least know somebody would be looking after him up there.
Yeah, I would definitely do everything that I could to keep them safe. I've been scouring through this, and he pulls out Van Richten's guide to monster slaying. Sets on the table. Try and find out everything that I can to help, but, well, Strahd's not an ordinary vampire, as you might guess.
What's exactly in this book?
There's quite a lot in it, but seeing what y'all have just faced, he says, sort of tapping on the letter that was handed over to him. The most important section for you is probably this one here. And he is going to flip over to a very specific page that talks about vampires. So y'all can learn how vampires work. And what I'm gonna go ahead and do for y'all right now is just let you know, if you ever have any questions about vampires, you can just straight up ask about them. Say, I want to open the book and look. And if it is in the book, I will let you know what it is. Because I don't want to just like sit here and tell you about vampire stat blocks for an hour, you know? Vasily will say, I've already learned pretty much all that I can from this book, but I'd like y'all to have it. It seems, well, I've never fucking got an invitation from Strahd. Not that I want one. It seems like you could probably use it a bit more than I could.
Hey, Penny, you're our most lethal killer in the group. Why don't you take the book and start learning about these creatures?
I just want to know how to kill a vampire properly.
Well, that is in the book, and he will flip to the page and he'll point to exactly the area that tells you about that. So give me 1 second as I read you the proper ways to kill your average true vampire. Because there's 2 sections here, one on true vampires and then one on subtypes of vampires. But under true vampire, it states that a vampire can only truly be killed in the place of its eternal rest. That may be a coffin, that may be the ground in which it died. It could be a tomb. It could be many things. but there is a specific resting place that belongs to each vampire, and they can only be truly killed in that place. Essentially, when you kill it before then, it will become a mist, and that mist will float back to its resting place, and they will stay there in a paralyzed state for 1 hour as they regenerate their body. And then after that hour, the vampire begins regenerating as normal vampires do until they're back at full health, fully awake. So, if you kill a vampire outside of its coffin, you have 1 hour to find its coffin and kill it properly. Vasily would essentially let you know.
But you said Strahd's not a normal vampire.
It's
What's
true.
special about him, or what is he considered?
That's something that I wish I knew more about. Van Richten theorizes, he says as he flips a couple more pages and points to another paragraph, that Strahd might be the progenitor of all other vampires. Essentially, the first who originally spread his sickness out. He's not positive, of course, but that might explain his mastery of the elements and the dark arts that he knows. All that I know for certain is that, according to old myths, Strahd was killed in his final resting place, what should have been his final resting place. And yet, somehow, he managed to come back after that, a few months after the deed was done.
Are we sure that was his real, true, eternal resting place?
That's the thing. It's possible it's not. But supposedly, and he's Vasily's. You can tell just looking at him, like, he's been trying to figure out this puzzle quite a lot. He says, supposedly when they did it, supposedly when they did it, they believed it worked because for a very brief period of time, the mists disappeared and Barovia is back. The true world for just a few months, just a taste of freedom before it was stripped away again.
And where was this place? His resting place?
Catacombs of his castle. Which, to be fair, is quite obvious, but also an exceedingly dangerous place by all accounts.
So who's this guy that wrote this book? Why should we trust what he puts in here?
Well, all I can tell you is that the man who wrote this book saved my life.
Is he still alive?
I'd like to think so.
But you don't know where he is?
I do not. I'd love to meet him again. Give him
What
my
was
thanks.
What was the author's name?
It's written by Rudolph Van.
Where'd you see him last?
The last time I saw him was must have been 5 or 6 years ago. Just about. I was in Valaki. That was back when I was still doing my parents' profession. We are coffin makers there. The werewolves have been harassing us for quite some time. And I'd always wanted to help, but I was grown up for a very particular profession, you know. I didn't know how to fight, really. I didn't really know how to do much of anything that could help. And werewolves managed to break through our town's defenses. All I really had was a mason's hammer, hardly a thing that could do anything to a werewolf, but I wanted to give people some time. Spent so much time making coffins, seeing death, seeing people filled with sorrow. I was fed up with it. I wanted to do something about it. And I only really ended up making things harder for the people who could. I got pinned by one. It's going to go for my throat. Van Richten managed to stick a blade right through its skull just before it managed to infect me. I asked him if he could teach me, but he said he didn't have time to do it personally. He did give me this book, though. I've been using it, trying to learn from it ever since.
Okay.
Have we heard that name before?
I think just from him.
Okay.
I don't think anyone else has said it.
Like, it sounds familiar. I'm like looking through my notes. I don't have it down, so like maybe
Yeah.
I missed it.
Because he did mention it when y'all like first met him in that alleyway. So
Okay.
yeah, you probably have heard it before, but it was probably also from him talking about this book. But Penny, now that you have the book, the other thing I'll let you know is that once per day, you or anybody in your party is allowed to ask me a question about monsters in general, and you can make a history roll, and depending on how your history roll goes, I can answer that question. So if you have a question about werewolves, you can ask me it, do a history roll, and I'll let you know if you figured it out, or if you learn anything from the book. And yeah, you can do that once per day about just about any of the monsters you come across. There are a couple of exceptions where I'll just let you know that's not in the book and you won't have to roll. It won't waste your charge or anything. But yeah.
So can I do that now?
Absolutely.
Can I see?
I'll also let you know, though, you don't have to make a roll for anything regarding vampires. So anything regarding vampires, you know exactly where to look for that. Just ask it, and I'll tell you. No roll required.
Well, no, I want to look in the book and see if there's anything in the book on how to cure someone from a werewolf bite.
Absolutely. Yeah. Roll me a history. Excellent. So, in the book, you would find that is a little bit of a complex statement. Van Richten says, it is easiest to cure someone from a werewolf's bite just after they've been bitten, before they've gone through their first transformation. After they go through their first transformation, it becomes much more difficult. And essentially, there are two ways that are described for doing it. One way to cure is with the spell Remove Curse. It says you're most likely going to be able to find that with either a priest or with a wizard with some amount of power. Can use Remove Curse. It also details a tincture one could make, though you do need to be quite skilled in the medical arts to pull it off. Otherwise, it may just work like poison and end up killing the person who's trying to drink it. So, has to be done quite delicately, essentially. The complications after someone has made their first transformation are as follows. Essentially, lycanthropy is like a growth on the soul. It is a second being growing almost like a cancer inside the first, as Van Richten describes it. And to sever off a piece of one's soul, even tumorous as it is, can be a very deadly affair. And essentially, what Van Richten describes is using the tincture or using Remove Curse after someone's first transformation is an extremely painful process that does not kill the wolf inside someone, but instead separates the wolf from their body. And that can lead to extreme exhaustion in those with less hardy constitutions, or even death, if things go poorly. He sets out quite a few rules for those, again, practiced in medicine that they can do to make this severing go a little bit smoother. But essentially, someone attempting to cure themselves after their first transformation is going to need to make Constitution saving throws. And every time that they fail their Constitution saving throw, they will gain 1 point of exhaustion. And for reference, if you gain 6 points of exhaustion, you die. There are negative effects for each point that you get, but the most important thing is that if you get 6, you die. And you need to succeed this con save at least 3 times to separate yourself from the wolf within. And then the wolf within is outside of you, which means that it could be hostile to you, it could run off, or something else entirely could happen. The wolf side of someone is unpredictable simply by its nature.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Lots to think on.
Absolutely. It's quite dense. There's a lot of notes, Vasily will say, tapping the table. I'm glad to see that you all managed to make it out, more or less in one piece, after our encounter with Strahd, though. I wish I was there to help.
Well, you're here now. Maybe you can stick around and help.
I'd certainly like to.
Well, we would like for you to stay around and help. Right, Aina?
Aina's just gonna have this faint blush across her cheeks and just gonna fade it back down. It would be nice. Yes.
Well, I'm happy to stay here and help you the best that I can. the moment. Like I said, I would like to make sure that some sort of leadership gets put in place here before I leave. I don't feel like even more responsibility should be hefted on Ismark's shoulders. But while you're
How long will that take?
shouldn't take too long. Well, I hope not. There's not too many people left in town, really. Much less people who are qualified for such a position. I did want to stay a little bit longer, though. I've been, I silvered your weapons. I stopped by Bildrath's shop to get a little bit of extra silver for it, and, I'd like to bring his nephew along with me. I get the feeling he's not doing well here. I know someone up in Vallaki that could use someone with his skills, I think.
That sounds like a good plan. How far away is Wallachia?
It's about 3 days, maybe 4 on foot.
Do you go by foot or do you have a different way you get there?
I had a horse, but
Well, we've seen the horses around this town.
yeah, it kind of died twice.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. It's a good horse, but you get used to these things.
Not Buttercup.
There are some good horses in Vallaki that you can pick up, or you happen to stop by a Vistani camp. They might be willing to sell you some horses if you'd like it.
Well, I don't
Which
think I could ride a horse. Or at least I doubt they have horses that would ride me. So that
Wording.
that would allow me to ride them.
He coughs a
I mean,
little
there might be
bit.
a horse that wants to ride on my back. I don't know, but
All right,
Biner, word choice, Biner.
all right. Can I have a drink, please?
I think we all need a drink.
Of course, as you wish. And Arik will come around with some nice drinks for each of you, or rather, moonshine, grappa, or water. Your choice of the 3, because that's all they've got.
Moonshine.
Yeah. We'll set that down for all of you. And look to Porum. Say, would you like me to get you some food, my good sir?
Yeah, I could eat.
Very
Yeah.
well.
Food.
And he will go and begin cooking you some food, because you've been sleeping all day.
I'm just a sleepy baby.
But yes, if y'all are planning on heading up to Vallaki soon, I should be able to follow behind you just a day or so after. There's a good inn up there, the Blue Water. If you stay there, I'll stop by and see you when I make it.
so guys, do we want to head out tomorrow and take Irina and Ismark with us tomorrow? It's a 3 to 4 day journey.
Yeah, but we need to make sure that there wasn't anything Ophelia or Balthazar wanted to do before we leave town,
If
right?
if there's something we want to do before we leave town, it's kind of a stupid suggestion, but we could go back to Father Donovich's church and talk to a certain somebody who...
I said I'd help you in town, but I'll have to pass on that one. Silly says, cringing a little bit.
Are you talking about the friend in the basement?
Yeah, basement pal.
I
I don't know how well that's gonna go.
can't stand that.
I mean, like I said, it's a stupid idea, but he is one of the only people that we know who successfully killed Strahd at one point or another, although the term successful might not be appropriate.
I think we'd have to think about it and figure out a plan going in if that's what we decide that we want to do.
It's just an option. It's a stupid option, but it's an
Well,
option.
I'm sure Ina wouldn't mind poking that bear.
I'm pretty sure this
Right.
town has definitely suffered enough. I have suffered enough.
Oh, you've changed your mind, Ina? You don't want to poke that bear?
It's a different type of bear I want to poke today.
That one sitting at the other end of the table? Wink, wink, wink.
Yeah, Vasily is just sipping on the grappa, looking behind him as if there's... Actually, probably looking towards Biner, because Biner is a bit bearish. Best of luck with that one, buddy.
Oh my god.
Gives Biner a little nudge.
Ina's hands are just gonna meet their face, like, please, God. Why?
Orm's going to produce some a little bouquet of roses and kind of just start sliding it over towards Aina.
Man, Ina's getting buried twice today.
Emotionally and physically. Good God.
I am happy to see, though, that you're all able to keep in good spirits. It'll serve you very good here. It's,
Well, we try.
certainly raised mine. I was terrified for Ismark and Irene earlier today. And I don't think we would have made it out of that without you, so I'd like to raise my cup. And I'll do a little toast to y'all.
Oh, I'll raise my glass, my little moonshine glass.
Hell yeah. A little clink.
Clink.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything on the road we should be aware of on the way there?
He thinks about
Any
it.
bodies that turn into monsters or...
Yeah, he thinks about it for a moment and says, well, there are a couple of things that you should keep an eye out for. And, I guess another thing from the book to maybe keep in mind is it looks like you're going to be getting harassed by Strahd. From what I've heard, when he says your travel to his castle will be a safe one, he does mean that. I've heard of previous stories, and what Van Richten puts in his book seems to check out, but not everything in Barovia follows Strahd's lead, so there could be other creatures that you encounter along the road not necessarily aligned with him. Angry spirits are a pretty common one. There's a gallows, crossroads, actually, just before the gallows. You're probably going to want to be wary around there. Haunted spirits, things like that. I know Erwin, he's one of the Mardikovs. They run the inn. He does deliveries of, well, it used to be wine, now it's grappa, but he's seen some suspicious figures and whatnot on his travel passing by there, so be wary of that. If you want a nice view, Sere Falls is a rare bit of beauty, and the dark dreariness of these lands, so soak that in. But also beware when you cross the bridge in front of the falls. Next up is the crossroads before the castle. So you're going to want to make sure that you know how you want to answer this letter by then. But, he says, sort of tapping his glass, there's another thing of interest that I did want to bring up that
What's that?
could prove useful to you, perhaps. I'm not sure. That is this, he says, flipping to another page of Van Richten's book. It hasn't been recorded very much presently. There hasn't been much word of it recently from Van Richten's studies, trying to learn from Strahd. But apparently there are a few small records at some point in the past of Strahd having a daughter he's been trying to find. I don't know if it'll be useful to you at all, but I figure you could use all the leverage you can get, right?
Take her hostage and then use her to get.
Don't think that would be a good
No,
idea.
I don't think
no, no.
I can't honestly say if that would be a good choice or not, but, you know, do what you think is right. I don't
And
really
where
know what
would-
kind of person she is or anything like that, but
Where were these records supposedly found?
well, according to the book here, give me a moment as a game master to check my notes. Let's see here. Looks like he found them in the Vlakovich Library. Library belonging to the Burgomaster at Vlaki. Personal library, so at his home.
And how willing would he be to part with some of those books?
You managed to save the town like Van Richten did? I would say probably maybe a little bit likely, or at least let you read some of them, but short of that, he's definitely going to want something in return, from what I know of him.
Well,
And
if for
he's
some
not
reason he
the most
doesn't-
pleasant person to work with, I'll also mention.
Well, if for some reason he doesn't allow us to look at the books, we always have Penny.
I do offer the subtle, non-intrusive knife. And I was just gonna, like, gesture to their book. Of their spell book. Like, please. I do enchantment magic. Let me.
Certain, working together, you'll be able to find out some way to get your hand on those records, but what's in the book is somewhat inconclusive, I will say. It sounds like, aside from the fact that she exists and Strahd has been searching for them, there's not too many details. But maybe you'd be able to find something he missed. If you do, I would love to help you with it. Strahd has been tormenting this land for far too long. It's about time someone put an end to it. For
You
good.
also mentioned some Vistani camp that's on the way to Vallaki. How far is that compared to Vallaki? Like, is it a
Well,
day's trip out of the way? Is it on the way?
There is a permanent settlement that's actually just off to the side of Vallaki. That's less than a day away from Vallaki, but I was more saying you might come across a smaller camp on your way there. They're nomads, though. They travel, so it's hard to say if you will or not. Just that you might. They tend to roam these lands somewhat freely.
Have any trouble with what's in the land?
Not as much as many others do, that's for certain. Supposedly they've got some sort of arrangement with Strahd. That I don't know too much about.
Well, maybe we could ask the owners about the nomadic tribe and see if maybe they know.
Yes, that would be an excellent plan. I'd recommend it.
Well, she's supposed to talk to us in the morning over breakfast of why this inn is so protective and not doesn't have zombie problems and other reasons. So maybe she can tell us that too. Then for him.
Doesn't Ophelia still have to look at the husband too?
Oh, she already
While
did.
you were asleep, her and I healed him, so he's resting now. So she
Good.
got free room and food because of it.
That makes a lot more sense.
Speaking of food, Arik will set a big bowl of stew down for you, Porum.
Thank you,
Please
Professor Snape.
enjoy. I do not know of this Snape. Though I did have a cousin named Severus once. He
Zombie
died
Lord.
in a horrible accident. There was a dark wizard. It was quite messy.
Why don't you make him mayor of this town? He seems to be pretty mellow. Doesn't seem to get any highs or lows. Make your life quicker to get out of here.
You know, Silly seriously looks like he's considering it.
I don't think he would flinch at Strahd either, to be fair.
The true. Definitely in the running. I just want to make sure that whoever's put in there next can handle the, well, rebuilding. It does seem like the zombies are slowly starting to shamble their way away from town.
Was a lot of blood spilled past day. We had like 2 battles today.
Yeah.
No, I think we had a battle and a beatdown. I don't think the second one was much of a battle.
That was more of a massacre.
Listen, I lost a lot of blood. It's a little fuzzy.
I mean, I got out of it scratch-free, but you took a pretty good beatdown.
Well, that's because Aina volunteered to take sole responsibility.
I also, countered spelled a spell from him. So that was the final nail in the coffin, as they say.
Yeah, that would do it. Vasily says with a little bit of a grimace.
Or at least we're famous now. We're now known as the P team.
Oh.
I was gonna
Different name.
ask you about that on the letter.
Well, all of us had a name that started with a P, thanks to Penny, because we didn't want to give up our real name. So that's how we became the P team.
Ugh.
I didn't know it was going to get us in trouble. I'm sorry. I won't do it again.
Oh, you're good.
We're not blaming you, Penny. We're just restating what happened.
I'm glad you all managed to make it out. Okay, I go. Knowing that. Wow.
Although, from now on, can we not introduce ourselves as a P team?
I don't know. I mean, every
No.
good team has a good, strong name that everyone ever remembers.
But the team name cannot be the P team.
Oh,
Well, it was better than the P stream, which is what Biner said at first.
Damn it, Biner.
So it's
Silly.
a good thing I corrected him, and Strahd heard the P team, not P stream.
Vasily's just gonna look to Ida and be like, no judgment on your tastes.
He's just gonna look
the
confused.
model though went well, right? You cross the stream, you get messy. I mean,
Look, I don't want to be involved with any streams, any crossing of said streams, any bodily fluids. Let's just find a different name.
fine. You guys have no fun.
Let me
Hello.
get another drink.
Certainly.
Maybe Vasily can help us come up with a name.
Sure. I could do what I can to help, though knowing what I've heard of Strahd, he's probably just gonna stick to calling you this.
You know, at this point, it's fine. He can call us whatever he wants.
It's the rest of the people that they want a better name for.
Gotcha.
So when we walk into a town, they don't go, "There's the P team." It's something else.
Arik will set down another moonshine, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we don't have a more amber liquid for you.
It's quite alright. It's great. I'm just gonna choke it back. Just like.
Hey, Ina, you seemed very interested in this library of books and stuff. Do you like going to large cities at all? I know you seem to be more of a nomadic kind of person.
I've never been to a large city. I've been to the outskirts of it. My tribe was working through, before I was sent on my mission, we were starting the migration to trade up eligible bachelors and bachelorettes and just trading people among tribes. And we usually have to go through a couple big cities, but that's last time they did that I wasn't alive. So it'd be interesting to go to a city with books, big like actual books.
Wait, wasn't alive as in you weren't born or that you died?
Or I'm only 60.
You died in our presence, so maybe you died again somewhere. I don't know. Death seems to be very fond of you.
You died?
Oh. I died before we got here, yes.
Well,
I'm very fragile some days.
you're not that fragile, you got better.
Yeah.
If I hit him hard enough, he probably will die again. So it's
Aw.
like,
Please,
Please don't.
please don't.
I'm not going to, Ina.
I only have 20 HP.
why I said if I hit you hard enough, you might die. So, but anyways, if we ever get out of this place, or when we get out of this place, if you want to visit a large city, I know of a place, a library that I'm very fond of that has, last I knew, had over 2,000 books in it. They date from many centuries ago up to current. There's spell books, there's different languages, there's all that, and I could get you access to that if you ever are interested.
That sounds very. Sounds lovely, Banner.
When we get out of this place, I'll hook you up.
Let me know if you find a way. A lot of people will be very happy.
We're
I
gonna
know.
find a way.
People
We
don't
better.
want to stay here in Barovia.
No.
No. Not quite. Which isn't to say we don't love your bar, Auric. It's lovely. Thank you, sir. It is quite lovely.
And you have wonderful baths.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I clean them myself. By hand. Every day.
Poor
Aw.
soul.
You do a very good job.
Thank you.
Auric, you ever been in charge of people? Like a large group.
I had a child once.
I'm not gonna
Well,
ask
I
what
do.
happened. I'm just not. Like,
Sorry, Chris, I didn't hear you.
So that qualifies you. Close enough.
mm.
His name was also Severus. He just goes back to cleaning his mug.
Auric's a people person, it looks like.
He owns a tavern, so he has to be, right?
Yep, somebody had a child with him.
He's at the
And
top of my list above Pariwimple. Pariwimple's coming with me.
you know, he had a child, shows he has good responsibility.
Shows that somebody loved him enough with a child.
Mm-hmm.
We can say it's like running a giant daycare.
Silly just chuckles. Says, definitely at the top of my list. You gotta check in with Donovich, but I don't really want to put more responsibility on him either. So, Auric is looking like a pretty good candidate, but I do have to do my due diligence.
Well, I think Donovich would be part of the P team, but the wrong kind of P team. I think that guy would have to change his clothes an awful lot of times.
You're strangely obsessed with this P team.
Yeah, Banner.
Well, it's just a nice name.
Mm.
It's
To each their own. It's not gonna kink shame.
Silly just does a little sip. But with that being said,
I think I'm gonna head to bed and leave the rest of you here to continue whatever conversation you want to have with our guest.
take it easy, Biner. Try to rest up
And-
well.
He'll turn to Ian on the way out and give him a wink, like he,
Oh my god.
and he'll head to bed.
All right. I'm just gonna move you to your room if that's okay.
Yep.
All right. Wee.
Biner can walk through walls.
That's right. Biner just turns on his no clip and flies into the basement.
I want to learn to do that.
Maybe one day. Your ultimate rogue ability. Well, I will probably need to get some rest. Eventually, anyway, but if you had any other questions for me or anything else I can
Do you
do
need a
to help.
room?
I'll be okay. I
Are you
appreciate
sure you
it.
can take my bed? I can share with Penny.
My bed is also free. I don't take up that much room.
Porum's just gonna look at Ina and raise his eyebrows.
And Penny's gonna look at Porum. Porum, you think we should leave these two alone for a while?
It sounds like they may have something to discuss. I think it might be the best, Penny.
I think so too.
And
Let's head to bed.
Porum is just going to get up and he's gonna grab a couple of candles from the other table and bring them over to their table. And
I too think I should leave these two alone, so they might
Could we maybe
get
get
a
more
room.
for them by chance.
What's
before
that?
you leave? Could we get some more food for them before you leave by chance? Seem a
Certainly.
little famished.
If only strawberries grew in Barovia, I would dip them in chocolate.
Could I probably grow some strawberries?
What with Druidcraft?
With Jurcraft?
I think that only does flowers. Let me
damn.
double check. A flower blossom, a seed pod open, or leaf bud bloom. Yeah, just flowers, sadly.
I'm just gonna produce some more roses and just put them out of the petals on the table.
Silly will hold up a hat and say, I'm not super hungry. I'll be okay. So Arik will look to you, Ina, instead.
Ina's just shaking their head, like they have their skull pulled down over their face, just like, please, God.
And Penny's gonna take a rose and stick it in Ina's skull, like in the side, like, you know.
Oh no,
behind
Arik
their
actually is gonna leave somewhere else.
Oh yeah. Pora would just make a little rose flower crown for Ina and just stick it on the head.
Excellent. Marvelous.
Enjoy.
Marvelous. The two of you are now gonna go down to y'all's rooms.
Yeah, I think
Get some
so.
sleep, you two.
Alright.
Go wake up Balthazar now.
That's in the room!
That's right, Balthazar and Porum are both in that room as well. The romance.
Porum can sleep in the room with me.
Yeah, I'll tag along with Penny tonight.
Oh lord. Oh lord, alright.
We won't get into any trouble, will we, Porum?
Not at all.
Alright. I love it. Okay. The two of y'all go off, just leaving these two lovebirds here. Oh, I don't need to put. Y'all aren't sleeping. Y'all might gossip a little bit before night. Who knows? I'll give you a chance to at the very least. Give me 1 second though before I continue the scene. I need to find. There we go. There we go. I had to send a quick message. But yeah, Silly just sort of watches as everybody leaves, and Ina is pulling their skull over their head, and it's like, oh, that was peculiar. I believe you were just saying that there was extra room in your bed?
Mm-hmm. They mean well.
Mm-hmm. And do you mean well?
I guess that depends on the night. Today, I mean, for one thing, tomorrow we leave, so.
It's true.
Quick question, Derek.
Yes.
Can Biner hear the conversation with the super hearing?
His super hearing. Uh,
Is it fucking
your
awful?
conversation or Ina's
This
conversation?
conversation.
Biner, are you trying to listen in?
I'm not trying, but if they're loud enough, I probably would hear it.
They're not loud enough yet.
Never mind. I shall continue gossiping with Penny in our room.
We can
Excellent.
always go bug Biner
Yeah.
and get him to eavesdrop for us so we can know what they're talking about.
Yes, that's a good idea. We should do that.
Let's go do that then.
You're gonna go hang out with Biner?
We're gonna go hang out with Biner, yeah.
I love it.
Yes, I'm trying to listen now.
All right. Great.
All kids need to do. Jeez, oh Pete.
Yep. Yeah, in that case, if y'all are trying to listen, Biner, roll me a perception if you would.
Now, because I'm using my keen hearing,
Yep.
is that advantage?
I would say so.
Guidance.
Y'all are like directly under them, so.
Oh, I don't even need the guidance.
Oh no! Yeah, so you're gonna hear all of this very clearly.
God.
So yeah. He's just gonna be like, true. Y'all will most likely be leaving tomorrow. And from the sounds of it, you're somewhat prone to danger. Vasily would say with a chuckle.
It's one of my main flirting points, you could say.
He'd, let out a small sigh, I'd say. I appreciate the interest very much. Don't get me wrong, it's just... I get attached. Quite easy, I should say. And we both know how dangerous a place like this is. Attachment.
Anna's face is gonna drop at attachment.
I see that perhaps you understand all too well.
Attachment's hard for me. It's not that I don't want to get attached to someone, it's just it never ends well.
And I know that all too well, he'd say, softly. But, the heart wants what it wants until it gets ripped out, as they say. Then the only thing it wants is to not exist anymore, you know?
All too well.
He gives a small nod. And, if you let him, he will lean in. Just give you a small kiss on the forehead. Say, I should probably go before this gets any worse, I suppose.
Of course. Again, I'm very sorry about them.
No. It's a good group of friends that you've got. And if I wasn't, well, me, I'd be more than happy to go for it. But, well, we both know why. And I suppose what I'm trying to say is, don't apologize. That sort of levity, it's what keeps you going. You know?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. If I don't get a chance to say goodbye before you all leave town, to yourself and your friends and Irina and Ismark know, safe travels. And
We'll see you at the Blue Water Inn.
sounds good. And with that, you will take his leave.
I'm
Guys,
just gonna sit down. Like, they're gonna stay at the table for quite a while. Just kind of watching the fire.
Mhm.
hey guys, Ina went down in a flame. He dissed her. Sorry. Dissed him.
We failed.
We
You're
failed.
dead. Should we leave Ina, or should we go back up there and see how they're doing and cheer them up, or what?
No, I think we let him think about it. He had a long day.
Now, Biner, with your super hearing, you do hear the sound of a door opening.
There's someone awake.
Who?
I don't know. They're walking down the hall. Might be a zombie. Get him.
Ida, would you like to roll a perception for me?
Sure.
I thought this place was protected from zombies.
Oh, you're
Maybe
right.
Balthazar or Ophelia, maybe?
Oh, yeah.
Penny's gonna peek. She's gonna crack the door open to Biner's room and peek outside in the hall. This-
Nobody's in the hall anymore. Biner would have heard them going upstairs.
Crap, Ina's probably dead.
Now should we go check?
I mean, if it's. Oh wait, no, I know. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
What do you mean it's fine?
Don't worry about it. I met someone in the bathroom and they just.
Oh god, I don't want.
Tell me, what? I want to hear the whole story.
It was just some person in the bathroom stall. They said they were hungry, so I slipped them some food and some coin. They asked me when the people go to sleep to let them know so they can get out of here. And so I let them know.
So that's probably who you heard.
Yeah. They said they've been here for 3 days apparently, and they didn't want to just come out and be like, "Hey, I've been in the bathroom for 3 days."
What was
So,
his name?
Harry, that's right, Harry.
Harry? Harry Shits?
I didn't get a last name, but it
I
could
think
be.
it's the same person that I gave toilet paper to the other night.
Small world.
Why has he been in the bathroom for 3 days?
I don't know. He said he was in the bathroom. He hasn't paid for a room or any food. He kind of felt weird about coming out of the bathroom after 3 days, so he kind of wanted to sneak out and then come back to pay for everything properly.
I don't blame him. I would feel weird coming out of the bathroom after 3 days too.
I wonder what he was in there for so long for. I mean, was it the food? I haven't had that kind of reaction to the food here.
Neither have I.
Maybe he's lactose intolerant.
Maybe.
Maybe
I'm
he's
more
vegetarian.
concerned, that you have stranger danger feelings of Strahd, but you have no problems talking to a guy in the bathroom.
You need a toilet paper and food.
Wait, he just asked if I could get him some toilet paper, and that's all I did. I didn't get a weird feeling from him. Hey, fine. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's just
I'm loving this conversation.
If anything, he was the one having some strange feelings.
I'm just more concerned. Poron's paying a guy in the bathroom. That's
It was old.
No. Where
You
is
give
your
guys
money
just-
tonight? It is in the gutter.
It is not. You walk into the bathroom and you just give someone food and money. I mean, that just seems an odd place to do it.
Sorry that Penny
This
and
is
I are
not
kind
safe for
people.
him.
You do that.
Biner, I don't know where your head has been the past couple days, but you need to get it out wherever it is. This is concerning, my friend.
I'm concerned for you guys. I don't usually talk to people in bathrooms.
Well,
I won't give
we're
him money.
friendly, and you're just an old grumpy man.
I've been around a long time. Talking to people in bathrooms has never been on my to-do list.
The way
Well,
with the way your head is at the moment, it sounds like you might have been around.
Oh, definitely not that. That's for sure. Anyways, I think we
thought
all need to go to bed.
I thought you'd actually like talking to people in the bathroom, considering you talked about peace streams and crossing peace streams.
exactly.
No
Go to
rebuttal.
I'm not tired yet. I don't want to go to bed. What about you, Porm? Are you tired? I'm not.
I'm wide awake.
See? We're wide awake.
Well, go do it somewhere else then.
No,
Us
I think
grumpy
we're gonna-
old men need to go to sleep.
I think we're gonna stay here for a little longer and keep you company. I don't think you should be alone.
Oh, Ida, before you leave, something will happen. I should mention. So Ida, you're getting ready to leave after staring at the fire for a while. I don't know if you wanted to describe any of it, but let me do one thing real quick, just to see. Oh wow, never mind, you don't hear anything.
Okay.
Yeah, you can go. Never mind, sorry.
Got it.
Harry is the sneakiest lad there ever was.
Beats him from fucking Vandelver when he wasn't.
That's true. But yes, you just go into sleep that night.
I'll spend the next 2 hours finishing out that second level spell I was doing.
Okay.
Would Aina hear
Sorry.
Forum and Penny arguing with Aina?
Definitely not. Ina's like in their head right now.
Oh, I would mention Biner hears something. So yeah, Biner, you do hear the sound of a door shutting somewhere upstairs.
A door closed, but that could be anything. That could be your friend Harry leaving or the owners doing something. Since you guys are wide awake, why don't you guys go investigate?
You just lectured us on stranger danger, and now you're telling us to go investigate some.
I
Door
didn't tell you
closed.
to go talk to the person.
I
Aina,
don't
you-
un-
You need to get your priorities straight, my friend.
I just don't understand you.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my priorities straight. I'm trying to go to bed.
We're not ready for bed yet.
Oh man, I love this.
Look, we can't talk in our room because Ophelia's sleeping. You're still awake.
Yeah. So, since we're awake, by the way, did I tell you what I took from the church?
Sleepover in Biner's room?
Hi, Arena. Come on in if you want. I guess we're having a party in here.
She'll climb on in, as you were saying, Penny.
Oh, hi, Irina. I didn't see you there.
Hi there. I
We're
heard.
just
It sounded like y'all were having some fun, so I thought I'd pop in. I hope I'm
We're-
not interrupting.
Not at all. We're wide awake, so we're just keeping Biner company.
He said he couldn't
So-
sleep.
More the
Aw.
merrier.
Sorry, Biner.
Yeah, I seem to have a pesky fly around here and a little mouse that just seemed to be
I don't
harassing me.
see a mouse or a fly. Biner, get some
No, we're-
glasses. I don't know what you're talking about.
Your room seems pretty clean, my friend, compared to some of the rooms I've seen here.
You have to be careful of the rat plague.
That's why we have Ophelia and Biner and Balthazar. They'll, if anything happens sickness-wise, they can deal with it.
Oh, well, that's good. Yeah, I guess I'm not used to having folks with magic.
And Ophelia's a doctor too, so she has both.
She's
So I
got the
think that's good.
best of both worlds.
That's right.
So what did you borrow?
I borrowed a book. I don't know. And I'm gonna hand over the journal to you, to Biner. I got this out from underneath Father Donovich's pillow in his room. I didn't know if there's anything useful that we might need to know about. So, here, you want to take a look?
Sure. Irina, do you want to play leapfrog with anybody?
Sure. Anybody like to? I really enjoyed that game. She'll pull out the box if anybody wants to play checkers but frogs with her.
Or you can go ahead and play. I want to know what's in this journal with Biner.
Well, I'll tell you while you play if you want to.
I don't wanna play.
Fine, Penny, don't play.
Okay, well, I guess I'll play checkers then.
Okay.
She'll explain the rules to you. It's not like regular checkers. She's very good at it.
It's true. Yeah, she'll go about explaining the rules to you, Porum, and all of that stuff. And y'all will surely have a conversation that happens as you go. If you've got any questions for Irina, this is a great time to think of them. But Biner, you wanted to look through the book, yeah? Chris?
Yeah,
Yes.
I said.
Oh, sorry, I missed it. Are you
Nope, you're
looking at the early sections, the middle sections, or the late sections?
I'll start with the early.
Okay. So, looking at the early, roll me a d10 if you would. Okay. You would find 2 sections for 2 days, one right after the other. First section would read as such. Father told me the story of the man down in the basement today. I don't understand why we have to keep him locked up. It sounded like he's a hero who saved people and tried to make this place less gloomy. Got to see the sun. That's what Lathander is all about, is the sun. I don't understand why we would keep someone like that locked up, especially if they knew how to defeat Strahd. He sounds like he's in so much pain. I just want to help him. Sometimes at night, I can talk to him a bit. And I think he's just hurting. I think I'm gonna see if I can speak with him tonight, maybe, and maybe get him some help. Then the next day, I understand now why and kept him locked up in the dark. I'd never seen teeth like that before, or someone's skin sag off their body like that. Bloodshot eyes, as if there was nothing behind them but hunger. There's no sign of the person that he spoke to in those few moments that was able to talk about anything but his need. It was just pure terror. Got lucky that Father followed me, saw what I was doing, managed to pull me up from the door and shut it closed just before he got at me. I was paralyzed with fear. Father said he was throwing away the key. They shouldn't have one anyway. There's no point of it. He's never getting out of there. Wish his pain could end, but to let him out seems so dangerous. That's not even with thinking about what Strahd might do. To think that he would do that to someone who used to be a hero and turn them into that. I can't imagine what he would do to our town.
I was reading this out loud so Penny could listen. Can I jump to the later period?
Or roll me another d10. Okay. Let's see here. What's my prompt for this one? Let's see. Ah, yes. Viren is getting ready for his pilgrimage now. I'm very worried for the boy. The roads of Barovia are no kind bedfellow. I don't know if I'll ever be able to see him again, and a selfish part of me worries that with him gone, there will be no one to take up the task of protecting this place once I die. But who knows? Perhaps he might find light somewhere else and stay there to bask in that light, something he could never find here. I can't blame anyone for wanting to escape the screams that dwell below us. Every day I find myself wishing I could do the same, but duty holds me. Maybe you'll find enlightenment at St. Andrew's Church, or a miracle at the Abbey. I've always wanted to go to the Abbey and experience a miracle for myself. Maybe he can bring a miracle back home for us. Maybe make this little burg a bit brighter.
Well, it's a pretty depressing book. Wouldn't you agree, Penny?
Seems that way, but I can't figure out who's father and who's this other person?
Well, Donovan, I'm assuming, is the father.
Donovich?
Donovich is the father.
But whose journal is it? Is it Father Donovich's or is it his son? Or I don't know whose journal this is. I don't know.
Could it be Father Donovich's like journal from his youth?
Yep, that's I will say it is explicitly like the first page is a journal belonging to his full name, which is, give me one moment, Hector Donovich.
See, Father Donovich, this is why you get one of those password-activated journals.
Yeah, those things that definitely exist for him to buy.
Yeah, like, didn't like every 5-year-old have one at some point?
Irina would shake her head no as she plays Leapfrog with you. But yeah, as Irina is gaming with you, Porum, as Biner is reading all of that out, she is gonna look up at you and say, "Forgive me if this is a strange question, but everyone's been using so much magic, and it's fascinating to me. Were you born with wings, or is that like a spell?"
They were hot glued on. No, yeah, I was born with wings.
What's it like to fly places?
Very liberating. Like when I get tired, my legs get tired, I can just fly. Or, if I want to go like touch a cloud that's kind of near, I can kind of touch a cloud. Or like I could reach really, really high on trees so I can get like the best fruit. That's really nice.
Sounds really useful. She's
great at hide and seek.
Yeah, would you just like float over someone's head and they would just never look up?
Or I would just fly on top of the roof and just hide behind the bell tower.
So are you the only one with wings where you grew up?
Mm-hmm.
She gets a little wistful for a moment. She's like thinking back on something. As a little girl, I would always think about just if I had wings, I could just fly over the wall of mist, and I bet there were so many beautiful things out there you could see,
Mm-hmm. I mean, Ina's a pretty powerful magician, so maybe one of these days you can ask him to help you fly.
Be awesome. She kind of blushes a little bit, says, I kind of, if we're gonna be traveling together, I don't want to be a burden. And kind of glancing towards Penny as well, but I kind of wanted to see if maybe I could train with you guys, maybe learn like a little bit of magic, but also just to be, I don't know, better at defending myself. I don't want to be a burden on Ismark any more than I already am, and it seems like a good way to do it. Be a little more self-sufficient, especially with that fucking guy after me.
Well, I can teach you or help you to learn to defend yourself, but magic, I don't have any of that. So you got to look to the others for that.
I've seen the way that you move around and use your sword, and It's amazing, to be frank. I would love to learn how you fight, Penny, if you'd be willing to teach me.
Sure. I would love to do that.
That puts a big smile on her face. She looks
And you would
very
not be
excited.
a burden on us at all. You would just become part of our family.
Yay, best friends.
I'd really like that. I think
You can be like my big sister.
well, seeing as how you're the one with all the skills, it almost feels like you'd be my big sister.
Your big little sister? I guess that can work too.
Yeah, why not?
Sure. Why not?
She lets out a little bit of a laugh. Sorry that the book's been so depressing, Biner. Donovich sounds like he's lived a pretty hard life.
Yeah, I'd agree. Guy needs a vacation for sure.
Yeah. Are you?
That's a long time to deal with someone under your floorboards.
Oh yeah. I got a little.
Why do you think they didn't just why do you think that they just locked him in the basement? Because they're not getting answers from him, right?
Well, wasn't it Strahd's orders to be kept down in the basement?
Oh, that's right. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot.
I mean, it seems Donovich maybe tried to get some answers from him. I know I mentioned earlier that we could go back. I don't know how helpful this person will be.
I don't know, because he seems awful hungry and desperate, and we can't feed him anything. And I don't know how helpful he would be if we can't help him in some way.
Maybe it's for the best that we don't, just because we don't want to make Strahd angry again.
True.
But maybe once Ophelia and Balthazar wake up, they can put in their 2 cents.
Well, you know they're not going to want to go poke that bear. But we can ask them.
Yeah, we can ask. So, Irina, how's your bite feeling?
She looks at her wrist and says, well, it's not hurting too much anymore. Feels like I've had it for a really long time, actually. Sort of dull, I guess. She sort of looks at it, and yeah, you can see it's scabbed over. It's gonna leave a scar for sure.
Oh, you haven't noticed any changes, have you?
No, I mean, you can look at my teeth if you like. And she kind of like raises her lips a little bit.
No, I trust you. Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Any weird dreams?
I have a lot of weird dreams. I told Biner about a couple of them.
Anything involving Strahd?
And, you know, tries to think on it. It's like, it's vague. There are people who feel Strahd-like, I guess. Point where when I first met him, he felt familiar to me, and that was really made my skin crawl, you know. But it's all, you know, it's they aren't really lucid dreams. Only really remember bits and pieces of them when I'm done.
Well, he did call you a different name, didn't he?
Yeah.
I asked him about it, and he was kind of quiet.
Well, he was mad at Patty for calling Irina ugly, but yeah. He was distracted more than quiet. But Irina will say, yeah, name definitely felt familiar to me, which I had kind of originally just chalked up to the general really creepy, not good, familiar vibe that he always has been giving me, but after talking to Biner a little bit, I don't know. Maybe it's something more. We thought maybe because I was adopted, I was found in the woods. Maybe I have like a twin sister or something, and that's who he's seeing. I'm not sure.
Did you try to look up the name at all that he called you?
I mean, there's not too much of anywhere to look something like that up here, at least.
Well, maybe that Burgermeister at Velaki might have some information. I mean, he had that book that we got from Vasily.
Oh, did Vasily stop by?
Oh, yeah, he stopped by maybe, I don't know, 30 minutes ago.
Oh,
He's
guess I
gonna be in
missed him.
town for a little bit, so he'll see us tomorrow.
You were sleeping and we didn't want to wake you.
I appreciate that. She'll say, avoiding eye contact with Biner for the time being.
Derek, who's winning checkers?
That's a good question. Checkers is a little less in depth than Dragon Chess, so we can just make a single roll for this. So why don't you just roll me your choice of an insight or a deception, or just a pure intelligence?
Insight, deception. Let's do this.
Yeah, you're doing real good. You're definitely winning.
This doesn't seem too challenging of a game, Biner.
I didn't say it was challenging. I just said it's different than checkers.
And that she was really good at
And
it.
she is really good at it.
Wow, Porum, you're like way better than Biner.
Thanks. I appreciate the compliment.
He's very impressed.
Was Biner not a good opponent the first time we played him?
No, he was great. Wow.
Insight check.
You can roll an insight check if you like.
Oof.
You get the feeling she means it.
Okay.
Biner was very good.
Your Biner is kind of smart.
Yeah. I really enjoyed our talks together, she'd say. With a smile his way. You look a little tired though, Piner. Are you doing okay?
Yeah. I just hope nobody says anything tomorrow when I'm a little grumpier than normal.
You'll be fine.
We'll just get you some coffee and you'll be fine.
Splash some water in your face or something.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. Is there anything that the three of you would like to talk about in regards to Irina or each other? Or shall we say that eventually all of you end up falling asleep on the floor in Biner's room?
Yep.
Yep, we all have a summer party in Binder's room.
I love it.
Actually, Penny's gonna climb up and curl up next to Viner.
Should we bounce on the bed before we fall asleep?
No, you just lay on the other side of Viner. He'll keep us warm.
Okay,
We don't need blankets.
we have a Binder.
Irina, you want to come on up in the bed and join us?
I'll just
We can try to make room.
I'll tuck all of you in. Irina will say.
Penny and I will be on one side, you can be on the other side.
We don't take up much space.
Not at all.
I love how Viner went to get the bigger bed so he would have room for himself. And now this. But Irina, you like, I appreciate it a lot. And you know, when we're camping out there, I might just take you up on it. But for tonight, I want to make sure that Ismark is sleeping okay and wakes up okay, you know?
That's fair.
Understand that.
But she will tuck the blankets over all of you, including Viner.
Thank you, Irina.
Thank you, Irina.
Thanks, Irina.
You gonna be okay? She asks Viner.
He'll be fine. Don't worry about him.
Penny and I don't snore or anything like that. We're very quiet while we
Let's hope I don't roll over, that's all.
I love it. Alright, she'll tuck you in and head over here, and Ina, you do manage to finish your work on your spell tonight.
Oh yeah.
Then I'm assuming you are also just gonna get some sleep, yeah?
Oh, just gonna pass out
Excellent. Oh, that's the wrong button. There we go.
over the spell book. But now I know Misty Step.
Yeah.
Very nice. In that case, as everyone goes off into Dreamtown, we're going to take our 10-minute break. So we'll come back at the 18-minute mark, and I'll see all of you then.
Hell yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Weird Ventures. I'm Derek, and our party is going to sleep for the night. Getting some of that good rest, like they no doubt deserve. And with that rest comes all sorts of interesting things. But the first of which interesting thing is a quick question. Penny, would you have done a little whistle before going to sleep today?
Yes, actually, yes.
Marvelous. In that case, let's see here. Yes. In that case, we will start with what's going on with you. As you do a little whistle before you fall asleep. And so once again, as you find yourself drifting into your dreams, the whirling winds of the canyon that you recall comes whirring back to you, though instead of this being that sort of tan brown of the canyon surrounding the Sunless Citadel, the stones around you are black now, as if matching Barovia. The clouds above, dark and thundering, It's a little more damp here. But the winds, nonetheless, are the same. As they swirl and swirl and begin forming that familiar figure that you haven't seen in a couple of days. As they swirl around and take a more humanoid shape, I'll reveal their art to us one more time, because it's been a while. As they form this figure with his flowing locks of hair that looks like a cloud, his being itself made from roaring winds. He once again sits cross-legged from you with a smile on his face. It's been a while, Penny.
It has been a while. Lots been going on.
A lot has been going on. You almost died, and then Ina almost died again. I've been keeping my eye on you. I'm glad you've been able to stay a little bit more safe.
Trying, but not making very good choices, I don't think.
Ah, it's okay. Listen, I don't think the lie was your problem. I think the problem was your friends doubling down on the lie after you got caught. That's the type of vibe I get from this guy. This Strahd guy.
So is there anything else you can tell me about him?
Well, I don't know him personally. I'm just, when you meet a new person, you get vibes from him, Like when I met you, I got vibes that you were a good person and fun to talk to, and those have all been correct so far, I'd like to think.
So, when you had a body, you never encountered Strahd?
No. I've never been in this place, but it's a very interesting place.
I don't like it. I really want to get out.
Yeah, it could be better. My own little mini demence is a lot spookier now. I much preferred getting at least a little bit of sunlight, but, I have to work on my tan.
Yeah,
Gesture
I
as
miss
well.
the sun.
Yeah.
So you didn't know anybody that had ever heard of this Strahd person in their life?
Well, I wouldn't go that far. Just that I never met him personally myself. I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure when everybody in the Sunless Citadel died, it actually had something to do with Strahd. Oh, and they all died the first time, and then new people moved in afterwards, and that's when you and that Block guy and all of you came in. But before that, it was mostly skeletons, and skeletons for a reason.
And Strahd had something to do with that, not Balak?
Well, that's just my guess. You see, because I didn't really have a physical form back then either. I was just sort of, palling around with people who would tolerate me. Truth be told, with that whistle, I was more of a slave than like a partnership like you and I have right now. I much prefer what we've got going. But yeah, back then, everyone started dying, including the asshole who's controlling me. Because, well, you know how the Sunless Citadel is like at the bottom of a ravine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that ravine got filled up. Like somebody had taken a small country and just sort of popped it on top of us.
Huh.
And then about a month later, it disappeared. 2 months, maybe. It was a long time ago.
So who enslaved you? Or who were you? Yeah, who like or who you said that before me you had it was like you were a slave to someone. Who was that?
Yes, I was bound to a family of folks a long time ago. But that group of people, well, their name was, and give me a second, because it's been a long time, and because I'm gotta double check my notes to make sure that I don't get this name wrong. Their name was... Where did I put this little tidbit of information? Their name was Rostia.
Okay. And who were they?
Well, Grostia, I said that they died. They didn't quite entirely die, but Grostia was a avatar, I guess you could say, of a pretty powerful demon of some sort. I wasn't really in a position to question at the time, but they were archpriests working in the Sunless Citadel. For the Cult of the Dragon, though, they were ultimately out for their own gain, kind of hoping to destroy it from the inside. Turns out, though, that they never got to really enact their whole big plan because, well, our ravine got filled up with a river. Everyone died.
And what was his plan? Or their plan?
Grostia's plan was essentially that there was this other guy who wasn't really happy with how things were going. Wasn't happy with a Shardalon, who's the big dragon that they were all worshipping, and that's little Calcerix's dad. Wasn't really happy with what was going on. There was another member who, their name eludes me at the moment, I'm afraid. But essentially, Grostia decided I don't have to get my own hands dirty. I've got somebody else who's got some discontent. I will just fuel that. I'll give them the tools that they need to kill the big dragon. And then they can take all the blame. And that's pretty much exactly how it went. Did y'all get to see the big troll in the sarcophagus back in the Sunless Citadel? The big green guy who was locked up in there
We did.
with a star map.
I think
Murder
yes,
room.
we did. Yes.
Yeah. So that was the poor sap that Grostia helped out, doing air quotes as he says that.
Okay. And what was Calceric's dad's name?
Shardalon. I'll type that out for you.
Thank you. And why did he want to get rid of the big dragon?
Well, a Shardalon was a bit of a dick. Sometimes, you know, you're an elder dragon, that just sort of happens. People start worshiping you. If somebody started worshiping me, I'd probably turn into an asshole too. I mean, how can you undergo something like that and not have it go to your head? So I say, don't trust most of the gods, generally. But, yeah, you know, he was, burning countrysides, doing things like that. I think Grostia saw them as a threat, because Grostia had, like, listen, and he's gonna just sort of wave a hand, and some of the black dust in front of you whooshes away, and you'll see these little, like, pins appearing as little drawings of faces appear. You see a very complex web. Grostia's plan was, like, 300 years in the making, or something like that. Related to a demon, you don't die. You got a bit of time. I mean, it's not that impressive, because, like, an elf could do that, but still, you know. It's a lot of patience. Essentially, Grostia eventually wanted to become, you know, big king of the material plane, or something like that, you know. Had big evil plans, as people often do, and, well, it was really funny watching someone spend 300 years meticulously making a plan, meticulously putting all their pieces in place, only for a fucking continent to follow them. That was pretty funny.
That is funny. Now you said that Grastia was a powerful demon. Are you a demon?
No, I am an elemental. We're similar, but different, in that it's relatively, well, I wouldn't say easy, but someone who knows what they're doing is capable of locking us down, getting us to do their bidding, which is why it really hurt that Grostia decided to do that to me. Because if I knew Grostia's true name, I could potentially do that back to them, though I'm not gonna lie, they were a bit stronger than I was, so probably wouldn't have ended well if I tried.
And what's your true name again?
Penny. Penny.
Yes, that's my name.
That is
wear
your
it
name.
out.
I am the Night Caller. That's my preferred name.
Okay. So that's what I have to call you? You don't have a nickname?
I mean, if you want to come up with a name, I'll use it.
No, I'll stick with the Night Caller. So, can you help us out in any other way? Like,
Well,
you've been able to be aware of what's been going on around us, right?
oh yeah, no. This
So
all
you know my
sucks.
friends, two of my friends got bit by a werewolf, right?
Yes. Now
So
they've got fur.
Yeah, and they're not very nice when they turn into a werewolf. But at least one of them's not very nice. I didn't really see the other one yet, but
Well, seeing as how you're sleeping with them, I hope you don't see it soon.
oh no, when is the next full moon?
Well, none of you have been really looking at the moon in particular. At least not multiple days in a row, but I've certainly been noticing that it doesn't seem to be following any moon patterns I know.
So are you telling me there could be a full moon, like, at any time?
I mean, that's what it looked like. We had like a crescent moon a couple of days ago, and then the day after that it was a half moon, but on the other side, so it's a little alarming. But, you know, I don't think there's any moon out when it's got the storm up, so you probably don't have to worry until the moon ring, morn moon, whatever you would call that.
Okay. But do you know anything about werewolves or what we can do to help them?
Well, you could become an elemental. If you don't have flesh, you can't turn into a big dog man.
Well, I don't think that's an option for those two. So, do you know anything about how to help those two besides that? I mean, they're already been bit. And they've turned once.
Well,
And so, from what I've read so far, it's very complicated to separate the werewolf from them now. But I didn't know if you knew anything. Maybe I don't.
I'm not the most knowledgeable on lycanthropy, but you know what you could try? You could buy some dog food, and so that way if they turn to a werewolf, you just set that out, and then they'll eat that instead of you.
Are you joking with me?
I am giving you the most amount of help that I can, which is that I don't know anything about lycanthropes. And that was the first thing that came to my mind.
And did you know anybody in your prior life that might have any knowledge? That
Well, I did know a djinn who did hang out with were-ravens at one point. You know, air and all of that, flying and whatnot. Were-ravens seem nice. Nice enough, I suppose, for a big bird person. They weren't trying to, like, eat me like, your friend Ophelia was.
so pretty much you're no help when it comes to this. It's what you're saying.
Yes, that is what I am saying. But I did promise you, if you made your deal with me, that I would do what I can to help you in other ways, teach you some of my tricks. So, if you like, we could do some of that tonight while we talk.
Yes, let's practice some of that.
Excellent. Because, as much as I know it makes you nervous, and I do know it was a bit of a predatory practice to ask you if you wanted to accept my deal right before you died. If you didn't accept my deal, you would have died, and then that would have been sad for us both. But I do want you to know, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that you live a long and happy life, so that way you can be like a shriveled old bean before I take over your body. You know, just very old and wrinkly and just basically a skeleton. I think I'd make a good skeleton, don't you?
Sure, but that's really what you want? To be a skeleton?
Well, if it makes you happy and I get a body out of it, yes. If you happen to die before then, I'll take it, but you know. I've been here for a long time. I'm in no rush.
And you're not going to do anything to intentionally put me in harm's way where I could potentially die.
I mean, I enjoy talking to you.
Huh?
I enjoy talking to you. So, I wouldn't be able to talk to you even if I had your body. And then your friends would probably hate me. I'm pretty sure your friend Balthazar would try to exorcise me even if I was the nicest person in the whole wide world. So,
yes, that is true.
I shouldn't make things worse on myself, you know.
Okay, well that's good to know. That's good to know.
Of course. I've been nothing but honest with you, Penny. I want you to know that I do truly see you as a friend. And I hope you can see me as a friend of yours as well.
We're getting there.
Excellent.
We're getting there.
Well, in that case, I might be able to teach you an interesting new whistle, if you like.
Sure.
Let us begin. Try to follow after me. and he begins doing these breathing exercises with you. And, slowly breathing in, almost trying to, increase your lung capacity, breathing out. And as he's doing this, he's trying to teach you how to do a little something. And so, Penny, you can roll me your choice of an Arcana, a Religion, or a Nature roll.
Okay, just a minute.
Not half bad. Alright. So, slowly but surely begins teaching you this technique. Breathing in, breathing out. Concentrating. Breathing in, breathing out. Pulling air into your body and then using the whistle he's taught to manipulate the wind. And as you begin following his instruction, he's floating above you the whole time. Slowly but surely, you begin to notice that you yourself are beginning to float into the air. Ever so slightly. And Penny, essentially what you are getting from this technique that he is teaching you, because you made this deal with him, at the moment is, let me make sure I got this right. Yes. He's teaching you how once per day you may cast the spell Levitate on yourself, which I just added to your spell book, and I'm gonna change it into a thing that you can do once per day. So let me set that up.
Is it cool?
Yes. As you...
Really floating?
What's that?
Am I really floating? Am I really doing this myself?
That you are. Now, it does take a lot out of you. You might feel a little winded afterwards, and you're still learning how to do it, so you might only be able to pull it off once per day starting off. But if we keep practicing, then you might just get even more skilled at it and might get a little bit more control. Because at the moment, you'll notice that the wind sort of just has you, and he'll kind of reach over and tap one of your legs, and it's almost like zero gravity, where you kind of go into a slow spinning orbit for a second. You don't have the most control, but a little bit. If you focus on it, you can move your altitude a little bit. But if you keep practicing it, eventually you'll learn how to go, well, quite fast with this, I'd imagine. And have quite a bit more control, we'll say. I must say, though, you've been a very impressive pupil. So far, at the very least. You've been taking to all of my teachings quite well. I'm proud, he'd say, holding a hand over his heart.
Thank you. And I'm so excited because I can almost fly like my friend Pearl. But not quite. But I'm getting there. I'm so excited now. I don't have to have wings.
He is also laughing. That's not just a game master. He seems to be quite amused by how excited you are. It is a lovely and freeing feeling. And I do have to agree. I did feel quite sad for that Irina girl, hearing her story of wanting to fly. Maybe one day she'll be able to learn just as you have.
Yeah, maybe. Hopefully.
Maybe.
I sure hope we can help her.
Well, I will do all that I can to help you help her. Though I must say, I did get a feeling that Strahd fellow is perhaps a bit stronger than I. So, should you happen to perish fighting him, I can't guarantee that I won't. He just sort of points with a thumb over his shoulder. Book it out of there, so I can at least, experience a couple of days of corporealness before dying again.
So, if I die by his hand, and I'm fine with you going and living to experience some life, but will you promise me that you'll go back and figure out a way to destroy him?
Ooh. That is a hefty weight you place on my shoulders. If I continue to teach you cool things, will you not place that weight on my shoulders, Benny?
But I had to make a deal with you to give you my body if I died, so I'm just asking for.
I know. You're very sweet, and I understand why you ask it. But also, I don't want to. It makes me sad. Because then I will probably die trying. But I am trying to be your friend, and I do enjoy your company, and I understand why. As long as Balthazar doesn't try to exercise me, I'll do it. How about that?
Okay.
We have a deal, and he'll extend a hand out to you.
We have a deal, and I'm gonna shake on it.
Excellent. Yeah, he only really gets 2 fingers because he's a rather large creature. Though again, it just feels kind of like holding on to a strong wind. It's very uncanny feeling. As y'all do, in fact, shake on it. Oh. Well then. You should probably keep on getting some rest. Got a big day tomorrow. Unless you've got any other questions for me.
Not at this moment, no.
Right. In that case, Penny, I do hope you have a lovely rest of your night. And I do look forward to the next time we get to chat. Rest easy.
Me too. Thank you.
Of
You
course.
too.
And with that, the wind whips around y'all once more, getting faster as it does. As now, with you levitating, you just begin sort of floating off and into your own dreamscape. While this is happening, Porum, can you roll me a perception roll?
Perception, alright.
That's right. Excellent. Very nice. Let me do something else. Okay, perfect. So Porum, while you're snoozing, you don't have to completely wake up. But you do hear just the strangest snoring that you've ever heard. You can choose if you would open your eyes upon hearing that.
Porum would open his eyes a little bit, yes.
Excellent. So Penny is whistle snoring and floating above the bed.
Porum looks, stares at Penny for a little bit, notices that she's floating, sighs, and turns over and falls back asleep.
I love it. Excellent. Excellent stuff. That'll bring us to Biner. Biner, as you fall asleep, can you make me a wisdom save at advantage. Excellent. So as you drift off, you're most likely expecting another nightmare, as you've been having since you've gotten here. Weighing heavy on your mind. But instead, you find yourself sleeping a bit softer than you have before. This time, you are resting by a lake nearby your village, which you would often visit to collect water or bathe. Your village is empty as it was the last day you were there. The last day you were actually there. Not in the mists. And as you peer down into the water, instead of some horrific thing happening, instead of tearing at your own flesh to reveal fur or having an insatiable hunger, in your reflection you would see you, but the other side of you, covered with fur, looking up at you with eyes that seem to hold their own sentience, separate from yours. We need to protect our pack, Biner.
And how do you propose that?
They need to be stronger. They need to have tough skin, like we do. Aina went down too easy, and it could happen again.
But we offered Aina a choice, and he didn't want to take it. And I'm not going to force somebody to join my pack.
You willing to lose all of them again after all we've already lost?
I wouldn't say would, but I believe in free will. So if they don't want that protection, they shouldn't be forced upon them. Everyone should live by their own consequences. We've lived many years letting people do what they need to do. Yes, we've had much pain and sorrow over the years, but never have we forced people or even loved ones to do something against their own willpower. Why would I change now? I know the days grow dark, but it doesn't mean I change who I am.
You not fear that if you stay as you are and do not make these hard decisions, that the days will not grow darker?
Yeah, but what you propose just doesn't feel right. Why can't we protect without changing them?
Do you propose something else, then?
I do. You know I live, since you are part of me now. You can sense of what I have always been. Can we find a common ground and live in harmony? Let the stars guide us, like they always have.
I have seen what you have seen, but I am not you. These decisions that you make now are not mine. I sit in the back of your mind and I watch, helpless, waiting for the call of the moon. If you want harmony, that would mean sacrificing yourself for a time to trust me.
That's what I'm proposing, potentially, here. What I must know, ultimately, though, is if I allowed you time to be the speaker, we'll say, how does that affect my true self when it comes to my goddess? I mean, only pure Luxodons would receive the ultimate passage to the stars. But I don't know if I'd still be considered pure. How do I know that you won't block me from my ultimate desire, you could say?
Do not.
No.
And know this, if you wish to purge me, I will fight with every fiber of my soul. I deserve to exist.
Why do you believe that? You didn't exist until a couple weeks ago.
Would you kill a newborn babe who has only lived a couple of weeks? What more right would they have than I, locked within you as I am?
Was there a way to unlock you within me? And not so you can be one in yourself?
There is. If you
And
do
would
try
that
to remove
go?
that curse, I will be freed. But I suspect your friends would try to slay me. And I suspect it will be painful for you. Though I do feel in your bones that you are strong. It would be worse for Ophelia.
Well, for her, that's her choice. Again, her free will. Maybe she wants to share a body. I don't know. We haven't had a chance to speak. But for me, you're saying there's a way to separate us. And if we separated, what does that mean? What type of life would you run?
Do not know. I have only existed within you. It is a prison, but also a window. The only choice I have had was during our first moon, under the red enchantment of the druid.
You didn't seem too violent there, from what I've heard and what I saw from within.
No. I know of your memories, and I do care deeply for those you travel with. But if it means my freedom, I would sacrifice getting to see them so I may choose for myself, become myself, decide separate from you.
Well, we'll have to figure out if we can coexist within. And if not, if you're willing to try to live a good life, I would be willing to see if I could find you a way to be free and into your own free will. But you have to somehow prove to me that somehow, and I don't know how you would do it now. I'm not asking you to tell me how you could do it. But I need to be able to feel some way or understand your true intentions.
I wish, while within you, to keep those around you safe. I cannot prove my trust unless it is given, or until the light of a full moon.
If you were to be allowed time on the outside of the moon, would you have my abilities plus yours, or would you be a totally different, or would you act totally different from me?
Do not know. I have only ever existed as this. I did not know I could be separate until you heard that man Vasily speak with his book. But it is what I crave. Freedom. It is what the moon calls to me. To be free, to run amongst the leaves and feel the wind against my fur. To not be trapped within you as I am, craving, desperate and hungry. Thank you for feeding me.
Never knew bacon tasted so good.
Yes. Yes, it was delicious.
Well, let me have some good sleeps. And let me ponder how we can, for the time being, coexist. And then find the ultimate solution of maybe giving you your freedom.
Very well. I will give you time. When the full moon is here, will be my one day to be me. do not know if I will be able to resist enjoying that freedom after being locked away.
You're only like 3 weeks old. You haven't had that much unknown freedom yet. Don't go too crazy. But we'll see what we can do maybe for the moon. But even if we don't figure it out before the moon, you better keep to your word about not harming those with me.
Well,
Because if the moon goes away and I come back and I find out what you did, there will be no deals. We'll fight to the end, I guess. That's what it would call for.
we'll only fight if they would impede on my freedoms. And with that, slowly, the moon behind you, it's been creeping across the pond and connects with your silhouette, sort of vanishing the reflection from your view. And the rest of your dream is quiet amongst your village. A peaceful night, to say the least. And with that, we will go. Ooh. Oh, that is supposed to be closed. Oops. With that, we're gonna go over here to Ina and Balthazar's room because we have a Cosmic. Hello, Cosmic.
Hello. I've been sitting pretty and quiet.
Yes. We had Balthazar fall asleep on the floor in this room. I hope that's okay.
I don't know about sleep, but I'd imagine he'd be meditating instead.
Was it visible?
He was. I was wondering where he went.
Yeah, sorry about that. Balthazar isn't sleeping tonight?
Well, he probably would have fallen asleep, but it would have been on a bed, not on the floor.
Okay. Well, it was just because the first night he slept on the floor. And,
Oh,
yeah, we thought...
if there's people and...
We thought you were going to have more people in there, Cosmic.
Yeah, we also thought that Porum was going to sleep in there instead of doing a slumber party in Biner's room for some fucking reason.
Look, it was a slumber party invitation. You can't pass it up.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to be in a slumber party?
That's right. A
But-
lovely,
but I-
lovely slumber party.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we'll say you got into bed at some point. The two of y'all are sleeping. And with the two of y'all sleeping, let me double check something. Okay. Ina, can you roll me a perception roll at disadvantage, please?
Oh. No.
Yeah.
Okay. You will be sleeping soundly. Balthazar,
Uh-huh.
you begin having a dream.
Oh dear.
Yeah. You begin having a dream yourself, walking through the Barovian wilderness. Your friends are not there. It's just you alone amongst the tall pines, the moon high above your head. And as you walk, chill cold wafts over you, indicating that you are indeed on top of a great mountain. And as you continue up, you would see what appears to be a drawbridge in front of you, and a great castle on the other side of it, standing on a pillar of stone. Waiting for you there, in front of this drawn bridge, is a face that you recognize, though the expression on it, the mind behind the eyes, is one that you don't. This, no doubt, has been a figure that has haunted your dreams many times in the past, I would assume. Is that safe to say?
Oh, indefinitely.
Yes. You would see as their lips curl into a grin with two sharp fangs glinting in the night at you. Come on, Balthazar. Sent you that invitation so long ago. Won't you come and join us for a nice meal?
Balthazar would have stopped in his tracks once he saw the figure and takes a step back, hand automatically just going to his holy symbol.
You take a step back, and your back bumps into them, waiting behind you now as you turn, leaning in close to your neck. Come on, Balthazar, won't you join us for a nice meal? One hand curling around your shoulder.
Not with you. And instinctively he's gonna let's see, what do I have at my disposal at the moment? You know what? It's always there. Yeah. He's gonna guiding bolt the person in front of them.
Guiding bolt shoots from your hand, a radiant light piercing directly through their chest. And as soon as it goes through, stop. They stumble, blood spraying their body. They look up at you with shock. The eyes no longer different, but familiar. A look of betrayal on their face. Bal, why? As they fall to the ground.
No, wait!
And
He
yes,
he's gonna try and catch them.
try to catch them, and you do. You catch them in your arm, and then you feel a hand on your shoulder again. And who is it? But the same figure, looking over your shoulder now at this different version of them. Oh, you brought something for us to feast upon, dear. Thank you. They grab Mitsu by the hair, tilt their neck back, and sink deep into their neck as you feel the warmth of their blood running down your hand, holding them as another drinks their blood inside your body. You feel this intense urge, this bloodlust, as if you're dying in a desert. And your lover's body is there to provide with a fresh drop of water to drink. These emotions racking your body as you watch their eyes slowly glaze over in your hands. And in this dream, you lose control and you give in to the bloodlust. And for the briefest moment in your mind, you forget. You forget these feelings and give in to this alien desire you've never felt before. And while that's happening, Balthazar, you may roll me a perception at disadvantage yourself.
Perception?
Yes.
Okay.
Or rather, actually, I'll give you an option. Perception isn't right. And it probably shouldn't be a disadvantage, because I just thought of what would be better for it. Roll me an insight. That makes more sense in a dream world, I think.
Insight. Ooh, worse. Wait,
Would you
know
like...
what? Fuck it. I'm using my inspiration for this.
Go for it.
The fuck is going on? Not that much better.
Let's see. I'll give you a possibility here. No.
What is that name?
Yeah. Well, it's funny you should mention that. Because when you wake up in a cold sweat, Balthazar, I can now go ahead and show you what happened.
Oh. Oh. Huh.
I forgot.
As you wake up in the wee hours of the morning, everybody else may take their long rest now. But Balthazar, your hit point maximum goes down, luckily, only by 1. And you do not get the benefits of a long rest.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh no.
Wait, was this the shadow figure that Ina saw the first time that we slept here?
Who's to say?
Who is to say?
The what? I have an inkling. I think I know what it is.
But, as everybody takes their long rest, the first thing to happen this morning is going to be Balthazar waking up. And Cosmic, you're more than welcome to describe how that wake up would be, and if it would be loud enough to wake up Ina. Or if it's just a very quiet, cold sweat of a wake that you begin with. And because you don't get your long rest, you do have 1 point of exhaustion.
Oh lord. Exhaustion 1. It's not necessarily a loud wake up. More of just like a gasp, and he's like pushed himself up. But the sobbing that follows probably isn't the most subtle. So
I'll leave that up to you if you'd like to have Ina wake up hearing that, RJ.
Ida would probably pop their eyes open and touch their own face for a second, thinking they woke up crying.
Oh
And
no.
like, oh no, my face is shot, and just look over. Oh, what's wrong?
I think Balthazar's just in a state of half awake catatonia. Just curled in on himself. Or half curled in on himself, one hand over his mouth and the other clinging to his holy symbol, and it's just tears and sobbing.
Anna's gonna crawl out of bed rather quickly and just kind of hobble over to be in front of Balthazar and just kind of like hold their shoulders in like a weird comforting motion, like they're out of practice. It's like, it's alright. It's just a dream.
He's gonna shake his head and just cry harder. He's just mumbling apologies under his breath. Or in between sobs, essentially. He is not okay at all.
It's alright. It's okay. I'm here for when you're ready to explain. But you need to take some deep breaths, okay? Does he look very panicked, like on verge of like an anxiety attack?
Less anxiety attack and more like in a fit of despair sort of expression on his face.
Hmm. Yeah, Ina's just gonna kind of rub Balthazar's back, just kind of helping along the sobs, because they're very out of practice. They have no idea what to do with this, like, situation.
It takes a little bit, but eventually Balthazar is gonna start to calm down. Still just hiccuping a little bit. I'm sorry, did I wake you? His shoulders are still just shaking, hand over his mouth, and is just still glassy-eyed, but is like slowly just trying to force himself back down.
It's alright. I was bound to wake up eventually, but it's fine. Were you having a nightmare?
It didn't feel like it, but I must have been. Lady above. I don't think I've had that. It's been years since I've had nightmares that badly, and I think that might have been the worst yet.
With the day we had yesterday, I don't blame your subconscious for throwing all of what it can at you. It's not comforting. Shit.
He shakes his head. I expected nightmares. I would not have been surprised by them, but this one felt different. I don't know why.
Did anything feel off to you about it?
Would any of it have felt off, Derek?
That was the insight roll, so no.
Ah, that was the insight.
Just a really bad nightmare.
Yeah. He's gonna shake his head. I'm not sure. It was... Maybe it's just been from everything else, but it felt... It wasn't the kind of nightmare I'd expected. I'm sorry. It was a shock. And utterly unexpected. He's just running his hand through his hair.
I'm just gonna look at the bed and like the area that the bed in Balthazar's, and it's like he's thinking to himself, "It's so weird. I saw something the other night when Porum was sleeping there, but they didn't have a nightmare."
Saw something?
It was a shadow, but I thought it was a trick of light because I threw like psychic damage at it. Nothing happened, so I was like, oh, I'm just imagining something. But from what Ophelia and Banner were explaining last night about helping the person, and we talked about something that could live on the ethereal. I wonder if it's just moved on to... It didn't leave, it just moved on to a different target. Does Balthazar look okay, like, besides the crying and, like, overall sadness? Do they look tired?
Roll me a medicine check.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very subtle, because they did only take 1 point of damage, but, yeah, like, something feels off, at the very least. You know, it's a little hard to quantify, but, yeah.
You look a little tired. Something... Perhaps a good breakfast will help you. And getting off this bed, honestly.
Maybe.
I'd say a good bat of sunshine would do you better, but... Or in Barovia, it's raining.
It's either raining or it's night.
Or there's... Well, that's not even something to joke about, I'll just take that back.
Balthazar kind of just gives Aina a small tilt to the head.
Vampires in the night, is what I was going to say. But after yesterday, it didn't seem appropriate.
Likely not, but, well... It is the fact of the matter. Balthazar's just gonna look away for a second before looking up at Aina. Thank you for, well... shrugs.
I did absolutely nothing but thank you, and you're welcome. And Ina's actually going to cast Prestidigitation because it can warm up a cubic foot. So just kind of give them an old, have some warmth.
I was just picturing you saying, I'm going to give him a heated foot rub because it warms a cubic foot. I was like, all right.
I'm just kind of centered around the back.
That's sweet.
So they're gonna just make a little noise and like shiver a little before melting into it.
Try that one. That's not. No, I'm kidding.
What?
But, yeah. Would y'all just spend the morning canoodling like that for a while, safe to assume? Or did you wish to continue this scene? Did you have more to discuss? I don't want to cut it short on you.
For now, no.
Okay. That
Balthazar's
case,
not moving for a little bit, though.
I feel you. In that case, we are going to go ahead and wrap up here so we can have Penny and Biner and Porum wake up and discuss their exciting dreams next week. And also, Ophelia's probably going to have a dream of their own as well. So that way
Hell
we'll
yeah.
have everyone here for the rest of that.
Oh boy.
I wanted to make sure Cosmic didn't show up, and then I was like, you don't get to roleplay anymore. We're going to finish the session. Wanted to make sure you got to do a little bit. But, yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll wrap up here for this week. And we will do our stars and wishes for today. And we'll start with our stars and wishes. Let's start with Chris. Chris, any stars or wishes for you?
Just great session overall. I love Penny's little dream, and then just everything was good. The battery back and forth between everyone and the fun was good. No wishes.
All right. Then we'll go to Miguel. Any stars or wishes for you?
Yee! Stars were definitely us bullying Einar today. Ina, sorry, I didn't mean to put the R there.
The hard R.
Yeah. Bullying Ina and just more Penny and Porum shenanigans. It's been a while since we've tag teamed anything together.
I know.
That was fun. We got to learn a little bit more about Irina. Wishes. No wishes per se. I just wish longer session like always.
No. I like to save those for when we got everybody though.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. We'll hop up to Jen. Jen, any stars or wishes for you?
Stars, just basically what everybody else said. All the dreams, just yeah. I mean, just everything was good.
Heck yeah. All right.
No wishes right now.
All good. Then we'll go down to RJ. RJ, any stars or wishes for you?
I really like the dream sequences between everyone. It's really cool.
Thank you.
No wishes.
All right. That'll bring us to Cosmic. I know you're only here for a little bit, but if you have anything you'd like to share, you're more than welcome to.
Definitely. Wish I was here for the entire session because it sounds like there was shenanigans put that I want to get into. But stars. All of the dream sequences were pretty neat. Biners especially was utterly fascinating to behold.
Yeah.
That was top notch. Also,
Absolutely.
Derek, how dare you turn nightmares against my character?
Here, use our trauma.
Listen.
How dare you use the specific trauma I gave you in order to add more angst against me?
I knew the creature was gonna do a nightmare on somebody. I just chose the person I had the most material for at the moment.
You know what? You know what? How dare you? But also, fair enough. I gave those bullets to you knowing full well what sort of shenaniganery you were going to pull with them.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I gotta say a big star for me is also definitely getting to have that conversation with Werewolf Biner and Normal Biner. Was super cool. I've been rolling for it for a while. I'm like, come on, you can make a wisdom save. You're a druid. But the meat helped out. That meant we got advantage, and I'm glad we finally hit it, so I can stop being so rude to poor Biner. These bad nightmares. And then I also laughed at myself because I was just imagining the version of this universe where Vasily did go to bed with Aina, and then Balthazar has this horrible dream right next to them. And what kind of morning that would be.
Oh, that would have been awkward.
A little bit. I'm just gonna go.
What the hell talked with Balthazar in the room?
Ida was offering and knew Balthazar was sleeping in the room.
Listen, I would have got somebody to pick up Balthazar to put him in the Ophelia room.
Deal with that nightmare on your own.
Couldn't even be bothered to
getting
get your own
active.
SMH.
Oh, Lord.
I'm in my own room! You're the extra one!
It's
Forum
not my
is
fault I got
supposed to-
shoved into that room.
Oh, I loved Porum and Penny cuddling with Biner. That was amazing. Absolutely adored it. Yeah, just all around a nice, good, chill session. And my wish is that we'll have everyone here next week. Because I'm hoping we can do a little bit of a longer session. Because I've got a Halloween treat I'd like to get to, but it doesn't make much sense unless y'all are on the road, so.
On the road again.
That's right. So we'll see.
I don't know if we'll be on the road.
We'll see if we get there. But yes. Let's see. Do we have any Twitch friends with stars and wishes? Dane says her star was the whole thing where Porum and Penny are just annoying the crap out of Biner. Yeah. Wishes? Old Whistle Elemental seems sus, and I want to know
Jesus,
why.
fucking baka.
He's so suspicious. He just wants to be Penny's friend is all. There's nothing sus about that. Everyone wants to be Penny's friend.
True, but also sus.
He just wants to sell Penny a really big old used car. That's it. But with that all said and done, we're going to go ahead and start wrapping up for today. So thank you everybody for watching and have a wonderful weekend. Bye!
Bye.
Bye.